Welcome to the One More Thing Tech Podcast. So this is kind of your main source for tech news and just, some humor added with that. I'm your host, Adam.
And I'm Quasi.
Now, let's just dive in, Quasi.
Okay,
So,
let's do it.
we have talked about this guy from Apple that is in charge of like the chipsets, which is like the M series chips from Apple and some of the phone processors as well. And for a bit, I was a little scared, Quasi, that he was just going to leave because he decided that, he might not stay at Apple and he was looking for other jobs at the time. And with the new role change that he has, I think he's going to stay. So he's going to basically take over what John Turst was doing for all of hardware. And he has some plans to speed up the product development at Apple. I don't think, this guy does not think, that they really don't put out products too not fast enough, I should say. Do you? I don't see that being an issue.
I
I
mean,
mean, the
I
the
don't think they
HomePad or
need to
whatever,
speed
right?
up anything, but it's nice to. I think the important thing is that if he's speeding stuff up, then they'll have more and more updates down the line, right? So, you know, like the more stuff that they have backed up in production, they can start to get that stuff on the production lines as fast as possible. And, we might be able to see because you know how there's like a delay between the time Apple announces the device and then they actually
Yes.
have it available to consumers. We could see that wait time cut from 2 weeks to 1 week, and that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what it is. It's not more so of like their current plans for the year for a product release is going to be faster, or the 10-year pipeline of things that they're going to do is now, 7 years or whatever, right? So, anyway, I don't know how to say his last name quick. I'm gonna say Srouji. He's got a
Srouji,
last
yeah.
name. I'll just say that's what it is. He has a last name for sure. So he has stated that he's changing the way that products are designed, and he's looking at the way the engineering is really done at Apple in a good way. So I'm trying to see what he's exactly gonna do. It's kind of a lot of jargon saying that. Oh, okay.
Do do you want me to
Uh,
kind of
yeah, go ahead. I mean, what it kinda sounds like to me, though,
yeah,
just to be before
so
you say that. Go ahead.
okay, so he wants to kind of so first and foremost, there's some key leadership shifts in how, uh their product design is gonna be managed, right? Because Kate Bergenson is being is handing off her duties to 2 of her longtime deputies. If you don't know, she's one of the vice presidents. And then Shelley Goldberg is now overseeing design for the Mac. Dave Pakula is now gonna lead Apple Watch and iPad and AirPod development. And then Richard Dean is I'm sorry, I definitely butchered his name. He's gonna lead, product design and report for the iPhone directly to John Ternus, right? So now so Johny Srouji is gonna establish a new ecosystems platform and partnerships team, right? And this group is gonna be led by Matt Costello, who runs home and audio products, like the HomePod, which was a failure, but the HomePod Mini is not a failure, right? It's not, the Alexa, it's not the Amazon Echo, but it's not a failure. Kevin Lynch is also gonna be on that team. He's gonna be leading that team, and he's known for leading Apple's, robotics and specialized technology efforts. And then these moves are all following, the new announcement that John Ternus is gonna be the CEO of Apple, coming after, September 1st. Right? So because of the shakeup at the top, they're shaking up and moving new people up. Johnny Srouji, listen, when you're a new leader, you have to make some changes to make things run more efficiently. And Johnny Srouji plans to make Apple as efficient as possible. They're losing the just-in-time supply guy, right? Somebody who was absolutely
Yeah.
great at his time and grew the company to the first $1 trillion company ever. So they've got to shake up some stuff so that we can make sure that Apple doesn't fall off a cliff. So I'm excited about it, dude.
I am too. I was just trying to I mean, I read this stuff. I was just trying to see what his main focus is for the overall game plan. I know there's some shifts in who's doing what for what kind of products. It does make me happy that John has a big, huge passion with the iPhone, and he's gonna basically oversee that part of it still to make sure that what he wants for his vision is pushed. I'm excited for that. Now, with the iPhone Ultra Quasi, we know he's part of the team before even becoming CEO that was making this happen, right? And gotta keep in mind, this is still under Tim Cook's direction, what they're gonna do with this phone. As I see it now, it's kind of a bummer
Mm.
of a product.
Why you say that?
It for a phone that costs that much money, for what they see in the industry right now for devices that fold, it's not a wow factor product. They're taking away MagSafe. Awful
I
choice,
just
as we discussed.
I think it's not the end of the world. I think it's just not gonna
Crazy, but,
fit into the
like,
design of the phone.
we're so used to that with a phone that costs less, you
This is true.
know? It makes the Pro more Pro than the Ultra. You get what I'm saying? Shouldn't be
Yeah,
like that. And you're gonna have a 4:3 aspect ratio. This isn't IMAX, you know? Like, it's gonna be is there gonna be an issue like we see on devices like the original Pixel where that aspect ratio caused issues with OS issues, with apps not being natively supported for it? And now as a developer, you had to make your app fit that screen unless you do responsive design. There's just things like this that I question some moves and changes because it's not like that they're making the fold in a sense of they have no idea what the industry is doing. They've seen we're on the Fold almost 8 with Samsung, okay? Yeah, I'm not saying they should have already had one out. I'm saying that with what's out now, they have some reference points to make it really good, right? And I know it's a first gen product, and they don't do their best the very first generation product. What I am saying, though, is I kind of expected more from an Ultra device that's gonna be 2 grand to start with.
right.
That's a big dollar amount, Like, you spend 2 grand at Apple right now for a Mac, it's gonna be a great experience and gonna be awesome in every way. But for the Ultra, I really question it. Like, even if I really wanna get the Ultra, I would probably skip out on this version.
Really.
And people are gonna buy it. We know this, right? I'm not gonna say it's the worst possible product they're gonna have. I'm saying for that price point, I feel like there's just limits that I don't wanna see. And I wish that weren't there on a hugely expensive device. That's just my thoughts. And maybe they're gonna wow us more with the OS and do some other things, like, who knows quite yet, because we've seen CADs, we've seen how it's gonna look. We're gonna see a camera reduction, like, there's gonna be things that I wish it had, like, I want my times 8 optical zoom. Now that's gonna even have that. So, I don't know. What I'm saying all I have to say is this: with the shift change in roles at Apple, and especially the CEO, I don't know why there isn't like a, "Guys, should we change this before it comes out, or is it just too late at this point and they're gonna ship out what they have?" But my bigger question is this: when the Fold 2 comes out, that's when we're gonna see these specific people in these roles make a huge adjustment, I think, right? Tim Cook is not gonna be part of that team that maintains that and does everything. We just lost Quasi's video, by the way.
No, I just turned it off real quick. I'm about to fix something.
Oh, okay.
Just keep talking. Don't mind me.
Sorry. So, the Ultra 2 is something that's where we're gonna see these people with these new roles put their foot in the door, I think, right? They're already in the door per se, but now it's gonna be a different, like, "Hey, you're gonna be doing this, right? This is now your project in a good way." It's really gonna showcase the new role change and what it's gonna offer for Apple, and see how John Turner's new role as CEO just kinda rolls out in that trifecta of new changes. So, I know that's kind of way off topic with this, but it all goes hand in hand because each person now, which had a smaller role, now can make some bigger choices, and that could be good or it could be bad. We don't know yet. I
Yeah,
don't know about, like, Kate or some of these other people because they're kinda in the background. You don't know what they do too much until you hear about them in a keynote or something like that, right? Which is good. But it's just something that I gotta see what their overall plan is when they do it. I
right.
mean, for you, Quasi, is the Ultra something that now you know more about? Do you think it's going to be the most selling device this year that they
Absolutely
release?
not. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that the iPhone Pro Max is gonna be the most selling phone just because it's got that bigger battery and it's proven. We're actually getting leaks that it's going back to titanium, which is what I'm loving to
Well
see. You know, I
well,
think
I sent you that, but there's been an adjustment, and we'll talk about that in this podcast
really,
episode. Yeah, it's not quite titanium, but it's not titanium.
that's an interesting way of putting it.
Ye yeah, and that's we're gonna be like the news outlets. We're gonna tell you more about that in a little bit.
Coming soon.
Yeah. So, okay, Quasi, we gotta shift gears to this next topic.
Alright,
And,
let's do it.
this is gonna be one of those topics I think, Quasi, is gonna be a forever topic on this podcast because I don't know if
Because you just
this
love it so much.
it's just never gonna end. Never gonna end. It might be the longest court case in US history at this point, which I know it's not yet, but it will be because it never will end. So, okay, go Quasi, let's tell the viewers what we're
Alright,
talking about.
so if you haven't been around the podcast for a while, you wouldn't know that Adam just loves, um, whatchamacallit, he loves Fortnite. Yeah, he bought it when it was what was it called? Was it still called Fortnite when you purchased it? Now, you might say, "Quasi, why are you saying purchase?" No, Adam paid for the beta version of Fortnite, and,
Alpha.
you know, it's a great day for Fortnite, I guess, because they're now back on the App Store, right? Everywhere in the world except for Australia. Don't exactly know why it's not on the App Store in Australia. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney described that move as a strategic provocation and the beginning of the end for the Apple tax, right? Which, if you don't know what the Apple tax is, it's Apple's commission on digital goods, right? So if you buy, let's say you buy a subscription on Apple, right? Apple's gonna take 3 to 5% off the top, and that's their profit, right?
No,
Is it not 3 to
30%.
5%? No, I lied. It's definitely 30%. That's why it's
If
an
it was
issue.
that, I have a feeling that Tim Sweeney would have no issues.
Yeah,
No, he
I
still
forgot
would.
about that.
Never mind, because it's still money that Apple's getting that he's not, so. You know,
Yes.
I just think sorry to interrupt, Quasi, I just
Very
think in my
good.
head how much money Epic has put into this court case that, as I said, probably will never stop. Like, just know some of your V-Buck purchases are going towards this court case that is super unnecessary, and I wonder if they didn't do this court case and just kept it on the App Store to begin with and listened to the 30% rules that Apple has, if they would just be more profitable and not have to spend so much money doing this. It's a cut. I get that. We went over this several different times in the podcast. What I'm trying to say is, I think that at this point, they've lost money trying to prove this case and to just keep it on as it was before and just make 70% instead of 100% off of each in-app purchase. And it's just a silly argument in my head, right? I don't know why this is, like I said, this might be the most useless court case I've ever witnessed in my entire life. That's like Quasi going to a stoplight and it's clearly red, right? He sees it, 8 people in his car see it, and so does the cop behind him, right? And then Quasi's like, I really cannot wait a second longer to go. I must go now because I'm Quasi. I know the rules. I signed up for this so I got my driver's license, right? I know what it is, but I'm just going to do something way outside it because I want to. I am entitled. I want to just go now. And goes through traffic and causes 6 cars to get into an accident because they're swerving to avoid hitting him. He makes it, right? It sounds egregious to even say that out loud, but that's kinda what's happening here. They know what the rules are, they know what the stipulations are, they know what Apple does. It's not unknown. It's not like it's a private information. It's so public, it's just how it is. They agreed to this and still did this court case. So, what I'm trying to say is this. I just think at this point, it would have been less costly for Epic to just comply with this. If they don't like it, here's the funny thing, Quasi. This is just a funny thought. If they don't like the terms and conditions that Apple puts forth, they could just not put in the App Store.
Mm,
Hot take. I know
okay,
that's
but
a big part of their sales. I get this,
I
you
think
know?
here's where we disagree. Sometimes okay, 30% for doing nothing but putting it on your app store is kind of egregious, right? Let me explain. Let me explain. When a car dealership buys a car from the manufacturer, does the manufacturer get a 30% kickback?
I
No.
think it's probably
Actually,
close to that.
I'm sorry. You know what I found out the other day? Well, I remember this being an issue like a year and a half ago where like some German car manufacturers were I think it was BMW. BMW would give you 20% extra performance on your vehicle if you paid a subscription. If you're paying a subscription for anything inside your car, just go
Coming.
back to the dealership, right?
It's coming.
Curse them out and buy a new car from a different dealership. Go trade that vehicle in. Hopefully it hasn't depreciated too much,
It
right?
does.
Your car definitely like, they say it depreciates the second you drive off the lot. It
Yes.
doesn't. It depreciates the next day, okay? Unless you get
No, it
into an
does.
accident off the lot.
It
Um,
definitely does. When there's the incident we had with the tornado and hail, that person that just bought their truck,
dude, do you know how upset I'd be if I don't think you guys know what we're talking about. Not too long ago, we had a crazy hailstorm, right? Everybody
tornado.
was driving around this area with shattered windshields and stuff. Dude, if I had just bought a car and that happened to me, the way I would have just, like, lost my mind. I don't even know how to explain it to you
Well,
guys.
so the guy who bought that new 250 or 350 truck, and when I say new, like 2027 model or 2026 model, right? Paid full price for it. And I think it was like 54 grand or more for the
Wow.
truck, right? And the insurance indicated to this person that the value that they were estimating was gonna be the same day, right, mind you, that this all happened, went down to 30. So, like, 20 grand off of what he just paid for it, having it for less than 24 hours. That's also insurance companies too, just I mean, they're just usually, um, not so nice people
Yeah.
when you
They
have
gotta
to
make
make a
sure that their
claim.
bottom line is intact.
They are great people when you pay money every month and have no claims, right? But when you have a claim, it's like they do whatever they can to not pay anything, or like,
They
they'll
just
say,
hate you.
"Oh my gosh, because your floorboards on your vehicle with your mat is, like, a little bit dirty and has the dust from Nigeria in it, now it's not covered." Something crazy stupid like that, right?
Okay, but how did you get dust from Nigeria in your car? Really, I understand that claim. They just so happened
That's what they're gonna ask you, and you will
but
have
how
no
did they
answer.
identify that the dust is from Nigeria?
That
See,
it's probably
like
got some DNA of some plant or something like that that, is only in Nigeria. I don't know. It's just a wild example of what I'm trying to say, and maybe there is no claim for this or there's no, clause in your agreement. What I'm trying to say is, though, like, all that to say, so I guess, Quasi, I thought we agreed with this at one point, and it sounds like you're going to the
we
other
did,
side here,
and then I
because I mean,
realized
it just seems like this happens for people that go to PlayStation, so that it
I
kinda
just
goes hand in
I
hand.
think it's unrelated to
Okay.
me going to PlayStation. I
So
think the important thing is
so explain your side really quick, because I have to try and process this because it's hard for me to do it right now.
yeah, so the claim that Apple's making is that Google and Apple make monopolies, right? Because obviously it okay, if I purchased the game off the App Store, but I had a chance to purchase it somewhere else, like, if I go to Walmart and I decide I'm gonna buy a TV from Walmart,
Never
and I
do
could have
that.
bought the same TV at Target, and Walmart just happens to be 30% higher, and as the consumer, I'm choosing to pay for it from Walmart, that's not predatory at all. But the fact that Apple doesn't let you sideload at the time, then you only had one place to purchase it from, and then if Epic Games wanted to sell it to Apple iPhone users, which was 70% of people who paid Fortnite on mobile, then they have to oblige to Apple's erroneous taxes, right? And it's not fair because they couldn't have people go on their like it would make sense if the people had another place to purchase it at, is what I'm trying to say.
But they
Because
do.
they didn't.
They do.
On mobile?
You don't have to have an iPhone. You can get an
Yeah,
Android
but
device and get
okay.
an app and
So first and
sideload it.
foremost, nobody is switching from iPhone to Android for Fortnite.
Well, but they might. But here's the
It's
thing.
not happening.
This issue is just not an issue for the consumer at
It
all.
is an issue for the consumer because
No, it's
now
not.
Epic has to mark up their prices to make it so that they
They
can
don't
continue to.
have to do that though.
Yes, they do, otherwise they're not making their bottom line, they're gonna go out of business.
70% of a dollar is never not enough.
Okay, Adam, let me ask you a question.
Never.
If your employer said, "I'm gonna withhold 70% of your or I'm gonna withhold 30% of your paycheck," are you not gonna fight that?
Is that not what happens with our paycheck anyway? With the
No, no,
government? They
no, no,
take a
no,
lot
no,
of your
no,
money
no.
taxes?
The
Do I
government, we don't talk bad about the government.
I didn't. I'm just saying that there's income tax, which is basically the same thing, right? Do I
Maybe.
want that? No, because there's sales tax and various other taxes that were pushed upon. What I'm saying is this, they know this going into it. It's not that they went into this agreement and then, like, 2022, Apple made this major change with how they do in-app purchases. They knew this exact thing was going to happen and agreed to it and put the app on the App Store. That's the whole point. And they were doing just this very thing with in-app purchases for the longest time, and it was not affecting them in the way that they thought it was. They just were making less money. A multi-billion-dollar corporation is making less money. I can't
Yeah,
feel
off of
bad for
their
a
most
company
popular game.
crazy though, but, like, if you're a billion-dollar corporation, billion, right, for making a single game, and you're crying wolf because I'm not
It's not crying
making
wolf, that's where I'm gonna disagree.
$55 billion, and instead of making $55 billion, I'm making 40. You're just being greedy. It's
I
one thing
don't
if Epic
I
was
don't
like,
think it's
"Okay,
greed.
this 30% cut is now we're on the borderline of closing our doors because of this." That's not what's happening with Epic or really anybody, right? The simple thing is this: you can increase the cost, as you mentioned, which I know sucks for the consumer, I sucks for everybody, or you take that hit and just make a little bit less money with things. Okay, I know that sucks for a developer because that's their way of life. I understand this entire process. Once again, though, you're offering this to the masses of people, and Apple is
Okay,
making their cut for it,
I think you have
right?
to understand, it wouldn't be an issue if Apple allowed for other, app stores on the apps or on the iPhone. Because there's only one place you can download Fortnite on your iPhone, the consumer has no choice but first and foremost, the seller has no choice but to because here's what's not gonna happen. Well, actually, this did happen. People when Fortnite was removed from the App Store, who was outraged? Was it just Fortnite or was it everybody who had an iPhone that was playing Fortnite? All those people were upset. They were like, "Why on earth can we not play Fortnite due to Apple's greed?" And if we're being honest, it is Apple's greed, right? I'm not gonna sit here and try and defend Apple. 30% is a lot of
So,
money.
so I have a throwback to this. So I don't think first off, Epic is upset that they had to distribute through the App Store. That's not their
That's
issue.
what the
No, no,
entire
no, no, no,
I
no.
promise you, go look it up. That's what the
It's
entire lawsuit is
in-app
about.
purchases within the Apple ecosystem. Is what they don't
What
like.
is the Epic
They don't care
game
that the app is distributed through the App Store.
about?
It's their in-app purchases, 30%. That's what they're upset about.
Antitrust battles against Apple and Google. Epic Games challenged their App Store and Google Play policies, arguing that the tech giants operated illegal monopolies by forcing developers to use their proprietary payment systems and charging
Yeah,
15 to
in-app
30% commissions.
purchase. Okay, so here's
No, no, no,
here's
no,
a
no. It's not. Well, it's an in-app purchase because you don't have to purchase the game.
no, I understand that. I think if Apple did this, you distribute through the App Store, but then when there's an in-app purchase, you can use your own payment methods, right? They wouldn't care then.
No,
But here's what
because
they can
no,
do.
here that you're wrong because Epic Games was redirecting people to their website to go and purchase it there, right? And then Apple, first and foremost, told them that they couldn't do that, and then Apple started suing them. Epic Games won that lawsuit because that is literally monopolistic activities, and then that's
What
when
Netflix does that though, and they don't get them
well,
on the
Netflix
block,
doesn't
right?
offer you can't buy it on the App Store and in the app, right? On Netflix, you can literally only buy it on the website. Go
So
try and
then
purchase
why
Netflix off your phone, you
so
can't do it.
so why don't they just do that then?
Because if it's ever offered on the App Store, you have to keep offering it there.
No, I'm saying she can get the Netflix app, the App Store,
Yeah,
but
but you
any
can't make any
purchases.
in-app purchases through it.
Okay, there's your solution. Solve the entire court case in one sentence. Take off every in-app purchase from the Fortnite app on iOS and iPad, and then make it so when you want to buy V-Bucks, it goes to your browser and lets you buy it online like Netflix does. Solved the
Okay,
issue. What? Okay, there we go. Why was that not even a thought in their
okay,
heads?
okay,
You're saying
Adam.
that the issue is they try to do this plus offer in-app purchases in the app, which is against Apple's agreements. Okay, makes sense. So then don't put in-app purchases in your app and make it only in the website for that specific app. Solves your issues. Apple is not saying that's against the law, right? Because Netflix does that, and so does other platforms too, or other apps in the App Store, right? Am I wrong?
I would argue that you're wrong, but we
Would that
have
not
a
solve the
little bit of a
issue?
time constraint. No, it definitely wouldn't solve the issue at all.
Why would it not solve the issue?
Well, you gotta understand, first and foremost, because do are under the rules that Apple is operating with, when have you ever been able to purchase, Netflix off your phone?
You can.
When?
Netflix.com and log in your account. Buy.
No, 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 like, off the app, when have you ever been able to purchase Netflix?
Long time ago.
No, you just were never able to. Right? Once you make it available to the consumer, Apple requires that you don't do anything to hurt their profits. Right? If it was already available to them, you can't remove it from them and then make people go to a website. Right? They were trying to do that with Spotify. Spotify sued, and now you can only like the reason you can only purchase Spotify online now instead of through the app is because Spotify sued that and won. Right? So now it's the most inconvenient thing ever, right? I hate having to open up Spotify.com and log in every time because for some reason Spotify.com doesn't remember that I'm the same Quasi from last month who needs to update his payment information, right? And I don't know why it's every month that I need to update my Spotify payment information, but it's all right. This thing is it becomes more inconvenient for the consumer, right? And if I'm just making a one-time in-app purchase every so often for $8.99 for V-Bucks, that's gonna get annoying for the consumer, right? It's gonna start destroying everybody's bottom line, and it's just not great. So I'm like, yeah, I feel like some of the stuff both sides is doing is right, and some of the stuff both sides is doing is wrong. But I think that the monopoly that Apple was holding, was the problem, and I believe that Epic Games suing for or first off taking their game off and then suing was not wrong on their part at all.
So as of whenever this post was, you can absolutely direct users to your website to bypass Apple's 30% fee, especially US following the major legal rulings. Apple no longer blocks apps from providing external
Yeah,
links
I
or
said
buttons that takes them
used to.
to. Yeah. So if that is what is
They
allowed
couldn't do that
now,
before. That's all because of this court case. So you're saying why couldn't they do that before? I was trying to tell you, they literally could not without being taken
Okay,
off the App Store. It was in violation
so
of the App
I
Store's rules.
if that was past tense the case, and now you can do this, what's the issue?
What do you mean, what's the issue? Now it's legal fees and stuff. The court case
No,
isn't just
no,
gonna
no.
stop because they
I
changed the
I'm
rules.
talking about Epic could do this right now. Make a button that
That's
goes
what
to
they
a
do have.
page,
They have that now. And then you get 20% rebates on your V-Bucks.
but you're saying they still have in-app purchases in the app too, right, or no?
Yeah, but now there's also
So
one
stop that.
when you make an in-app purchase in the app. No, you're not understanding because first and foremost, everybody knows about the court case now. They're all pressing the button to I don't have Fortnite downloaded. They're all
I
pressing the
actually
button
do.
to go to the Epic Game Store because now you're essentially getting cash back off of the savings that you're making from not giving Apple that 30%.
Why do they even offer you the in-app purchases with Apple if this very court case
Convenience.
exists?
You don't wanna have to input your card information every time,
You don't
and
have
Apple still
to.
wants to make money, so, honestly,
You know
it's
what they
it's
could
it's a,
do?
um,
They could do
it's a
like Apple
charity.
Pay on their page.
I don't think Apple Pay, takes any commission, so I don't know.
Well, there's still
Anyway,
fees with Apple
we
Pay,
spent
but
quite some time on this
what
topic, Adam.
I'm just trying to understand this because, if there is a workaround, which is what they're trying to do, it sounds like, and they have done this, this case has no more merit. I just I cannot like in my head understand this. I get they want to make more money off their in-app purchases. That's something I understand. Once again, they knew this going into this, and they still made a big fuss. And they can go around this and make their 30% extra and make more money, and they're still whining. It's like giving the kid the juice box after they whine all the time, and then they still whine. That's what's happening here. It's so unnecessary. That's my point. It doesn't make sense. But the whole thing to say is it's back in the App Store. Go ahead and just download that so you can get it back. I don't think, like I said, this will ever end. They'll still be back and forth, back and forth. I still cannot comprehend my mind why this is still a court case, but that's just me. I don't know. I get both sides of it, but I also think this is a silly court case. It shouldn't happen anymore because
Okay,
eh,
let me pose
that's
you a
all.
hypothetical.
Okay, what's hypothetical?
Imagine Johnny owns this huge, just ginormous, beautiful treehouse, right?
Okay.
And they built it and they let other people come in and Johnny lets, uh, Tim come and sell his toys there. He lets Sharif come and sell his toys. He lets Adam come and sell his toys there, right? Tim decides that, I don't really wanna share my profits with what's his name anymore? With who did I say was owning the treehouse? Johnny?
Tim.
Jo
Yeah.
yeah,
Johnny or Tim,
Johnny.
whatever. Yeah.
Tim doesn't wanna share with Johnny, so he hides, like, a piggy bank there, right? And he tells people, "Hey, instead of, uh if you put your coins in my piggy bank instead, I'll give you a discount," right? So, that's kinda what Epic Games is doing now, right? But Apple got mad. They were like, "Absolutely not," right? You cannot redirect your people to give them a discount. Mind you, the discount wasn't even that much. It was like $2 off of $8.99, which I guess is really a lot. So let me stop talking. But anyway, for the most part, Apple's allowed to keep doing what they're doing, but they have to start putting they had to allow the developers to put in the link. But they're saying now the developers are saying you can what am I trying to say? You can how do I put this? You can still sell your thing on the App Store, but if you put a link, we're actually gonna charge more, right? So that's why Epic had to go back to the courts and just argue that that fee was ridiculous. You're gonna charge me for taking people to my website to avoid the fee? So you're charging me a fee to avoid the fee. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense at all. So I understand where they're coming from. Apple really, like, Apple's good at their bottom line, right? But at the same time, they're doing too much. And I don't appreciate it.
Do you know who else charges 30% off in-app purchases? Every other platform that has Fortnite. Google Play, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
Fact checking that.
Please do. It might be slightly less Google
It's
Play.
definitely
Might
less
be.
than 30%.
I don't think it's that much less.
Game purchases. PlayStation. Wait, I actually the okay. But the issue here is you can if you if you're on a computer, right? You don't have to go through Microsoft.com and then get Fortnite. With those, you have more flexibility because let me explain why.
Well,
You're not
when
required to buy the V-Bucks online, right? So, wow, that's not what I meant to say. With that, you're not I don't know how to explain it, but we've spent entirely too much time on this
well,
topic. We
no,
spent like
but
a good 30 minutes here.
my whole point is this. If every other platform is doing the same thing, like for Xbox and Sony, which is definitely 30%,
I
it's the
think you're not
same argument.
understanding. There's the difference here is that you're not locked in. Like there's other ways to put the app there, and then there's other ways like they're not being charged to send you to Fortnite.com to purchase the V-Bucks, right? Apple was charging Fortnite for sending you to Fortnite.com to get V-Bucks.
Okay, that might have been a dick move,
Yeah, that's what
right?
I'm saying.
But they've stopped doing it.
Because all the courts have ruled that what Apple was doing was egregious, right?
Okay.
So then Apple said, "Okay, if we can't stop you from sending you there, we're actually just going to
S-
increase our fees regardless." What? What are we talking about?
It's the same 30% as it was.
There's a additional developer fee somewhere hidden in there.
Maybe. I don't know. I think if they made the change and you can do this now, this shouldn't be a case. That's all.
Okay.
And not just trying to be like Cypher Apple. I also can't stand Epic Games as a company because they just,
But don't
I
let
don't
that
know.
cloud your judgment. They're not completely in the wrong here as you want to say.
Did this require this massive court case though?
Yes.
Eh,
Yes, because they weren't only sticking up for themselves, they were sticking up for the little guy who doesn't have enough money to sue Apple, right? Apple's
s-
taking the part of their money that they need to keep the lights on in their startup game firm, and, they need that 30%. So,
I
just
don't
imagine
know.
it was a company you did like.
Like, that's just the cost of doing commerce. You don't think that Walmart makes money off of your product if you sell it there, and there's, like, a cut with that,
Can
and,
you
like,
imagine if Walmart made 0% profit?
they just don't,
It'd
you
be
know?
horrible for them.
Is it 30% every time? No, that's not the case because some things are cost cheaper, some things had different tax rates, all this other stuff, right? But, like, commerce itself has to do that. So maybe I'm not going directly to Men's Warehouse to buy a suit, but I happen to go into this major box store that has that suit and everything else, and I have to get ice cream and everything else, and I just happen to see this and I can buy it there. That it's just a cost of convenience to the customer, too, right? And you think it's $0 for Apple to develop the App Store and the iPhones and all this other stuff so they can play that game on that device? Like, could the fee be reduced? Yes. Is a very possible thing. But at the same time, you have to adjust your pricing to accommodate for stuff like this when you know what they charge. That's the first thing too. It's not something that they had no idea what it is. No? Like when it comes down to it, if I make this, right? Zambezi, right? I'm gonna sell this to a retailer and they're gonna sell it to the customer. This thing costs $8, whatever it is, right? The manufacturer does not make $8 off of that. There's 2 other places that they had to go through to sell it, right? So with that being the price or that thing, there's a called MSRP, and they have to adjust the pricing for what they sell it for and so on and so on. That's just how commerce works. Even though it's a digital good, now you're selling it essentially not at a wholesale cost, but you're selling it to Apple or putting it on there to make it available for your customers. That is not a free process. So instead of charging egregious amounts for a developer fee, which they only charge like $100 a year, this is their way of making extra money back for making that process work seamlessly for the end user. And I think it's reasonable. I don't know. If it was like 70% Apple saying you're getting 30%, then I would say that's egregious. So I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
man, this is how I think.
Well, speaking of Apple, let's keep it on their, on the topic of Apple. Did you see the new leaks for liquid metal?
Yes. This is what we are talking about earlier this episode.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So Apple's currently looking for a material that's gonna offer I don't know how to explain it, but, like so with the titanium phone, the issue is that, it's durable and it's premium and it's wonderful, but people were complaining about, its poor thermal conductivity, right? But
It's
then
true.
aluminum let me tell you something. I love aluminum, right? I put stuff on aluminum foil into my oven, right? And then I just grab it out with my bare hands because the heat transfer is so fast. Aluminum's great at that, right? Disclaimer, my
Well,
hands are a lot
kind
stronger than
of.
most people's hands, so don't do that. You might burn
Like
yourself.
if you have something like here's foil, right? And it's like right here, and you touch right here, it's hot still. But the
Yeah.
edges of it are definitely cool. Yes,
Yeah, the
I see what
edges
you're
of it are
saying.
definitely yeah, that's what I'm trying
But
to
like
say.
my
Like,
phone's
wherever the heat's not
aluminum,
at.
and I gotta say, I don't know why this is the case for me. If I download anything, my phone gets like I can melt cheese. It's so hot.
Nice. You
So it
love to see it.
doesn't really like dissipate the heat well at all. So he's not wrong about this. But I also had the same issue with my titanium iPhone as well, the 15. So where's 16? 15.
Yeah.
But I like this. It's gonna be an adjustment where it's like titanium. It's gonna be based upon that, but a different variant of that that has
Yeah.
better heat transfer. So I think they had to do more than just that. So the liquid cooling is a good step up, but I don't see that working too well when the phone gets really, really hot. So like I get messages on my phone that says your phone's too hot. We had to wait till it gets to normal temperatures to resume tasks. So like I think they need to figure out a method to not just dissipate the heat across the whole body of the phone, but like cool it down a little bit more. So you're not making it really hot in one spot, which is an issue with the 15 series phones and 16. But cool it down then, like, what can you do to reduce the temperature besides that? So, hopefully, this is what they gotta do to make that work, right?
Yep.
What are your thoughts, Quasey?
Yeah, so the liquid metal is something that Apple's been looking at for over 15 years. They've been looking into this thing called amorphous alloy, I think it was called, and, it's high strength. It's a very strong material, and it's supposedly, resistant to corrosion, which is really cool. But also, they're testing that revised version of titanium that you told us about, and if they can keep the, premium feel of titanium, because I love my phone, I love this premium feel. That's the reason I didn't upgrade this year, not because I had just got my phone in May, but, I really like the premium feel of this phone, and I really like the abilities of aluminum. If they can find a way to fuse those 2, I'll be the first one in line for that phone. Completely unrelated, the other day, I went to Best Buy, I think it was Monday. I went to Best Buy, and there was, like, a line outside before it opened, and I was like, "Oh, wow. I haven't seen that in a while." Apparently, there's, like, some sort of Pokemon drop, so that was interesting.
Oh, yep, Pokemon Go, yep. Or I
Yeah,
think
that
Pokemon
was
Go.
I don't know if it was Pokemon Go, I think it was, like, actual physical cards, but I
Oh!
was like,
Oh,
"That's interesting."
there's also, like, in the new Pokemon games for Switch too. There's,
Mm.
like, drops they have there too for events. Wow, that's still kinda going strong, that's cool.
Yeah,
It
it was cool to see because you don't see people lined up anymore.
no,
Everybody
unless
does
it's
it
Black
online.
Friday. Yeah. Well, the good news is they're making some adjustments here. We'll see how that works out. I think they need to also make another way. I'm not saying just put a fan in it, but something that would cool it down a
Just put
little
a
bit,
fan on the phone. Can you imagine?
or like I don't know, something that just makes it a little cooler faster. I don't know. I mean, we shut it off. It gets pretty cool pretty fast, but I shouldn't have to do that just to cool it down. That's all I'm
This is
saying.
true. I agree with that statement.
So, Quasius, next topic. I was shocked when I seen
Shot.
this. Yes, I have heard zero people this year, this is just me at least, talk about an iPad model that we've not talked about yet on this podcast. A
Really?
foldable iPad. I said that out loud. A foldable iPad. So it looks like that there's a hinge design for an iPad that is supposedly done at this point that will potentially allow Apple to release a foldable iPad this very year. Said to share a hinge design with the upcoming iPhone Ultra with an iPad. So using that same technology in the iPhone Ultra, potentially for release of this year of a foldable iPad.
That
I
is
do not
interesting.
know how I feel about this. I think I would like a foldable iPad more than a foldable phone as of right now. But does that mean the screen gets larger? Or is it the same screen size now, but just folds?
God only
Oh,
knows. I don't know.
I read this a little bit wrong. Sorry. I said just moments ago that this would come out this fall. No, they're talking about the iPhone Ultra that's coming out this fall, but they're using that same hinge design for a foldable iPad coming soon. So probably not
Interesting.
this year. Because if there was by now, we'd have so many more leaks about this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Quasi, for a foldable iPad?
It's interesting. You know, it says it's going to feature an 18-inch display. 18 inches is a lot, right? I don't know what I've seen with an 18-inch display. I've seen 21-inch displays. So if it's anywhere near that big, then it's going to be a bit of a hassle to carry around at that point. Your
Yeah,
iPad kind of
backpack
comes,
required.
yeah, it becomes a bit of a laptop. Well, I don't know if I'd want a laptop
Larger.
that folds out like that. I don't know.
Larger than
It's,
most laptops.
yeah, no, it's not. 18 inches folded in half. I don't think it would be larger.
Well, no,
It'll be
screen
9 inches
size of 18
folded.
inches. Most are
Yeah,
like a
most
13,
laptops,
14,
yeah,
or 15.
I think the highest I've seen is 16 inches.
Yeah.
So
That
yeah,
seems
it's a big screen.
don't know if they
It's
need to do
interesting.
that. I don't think anybody's asking for an 18-inch display,
Yeah, I
but is it
mean,
bad? No, not
yeah,
necessarily.
do you, Apple? You guys, hey, show surprise me.
I I'm curious about this, and like I said, I don't know who's asking for such a thing, but am I gonna not like it? Probably not. I might like this a lot actually. Um, as long as they keep OLED, like you gotta make it really, really nice. And I'm just curious how this is gonna work. Um, why we even need it. So like, can we show Quasi the mock on this site because this really gives
I
him
may
a
or may not have already closed the tab, but give me a second to
oh,
open it back
okay, that's
up.
okay. Well, you can see here that they have like, your virtual keyboard on the bottom part of this. And I'm still not completely for a digital full size keyboard because it's just not the same as typing on a physical keys. It's a different concept, I'll say. And this is gonna fall in a different way than most would. Um, I
It's
don't know if we
interesting.
I don't know if we need this right now.
I don't
That's
think we
all.
do, but it's
Um,
interesting.
like, I don't know. I just don't know. I guess we'll let the crack team at Apple, the marketing team, as
Yeah.
Craig Figure says, try to sell us on this. just because, we don't know what this is gonna quite be, and this is just a mock, this is not confirmed. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I just think over time, a foldable screen of any sort is gonna have issues because, so many bends, it's gonna have issues, but, we don't know yet, so that is the up and coming, iPad Fold, and we'll see what they call it, probably the iPad Ultra, most likely, right, at this point.
Yeah.
And, let us know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you wish they would just, keep it the way it is? Alright,
All
next
right.
one.
Yeah, on to the next one.
We have
So
invites sent, Quasey,
no,
for
no, no,
Dub
no, no.
Dub.
We don't have invites. They
Not
forgot
we.
about us. Ours got lost in the mail.
Well, I got it because 'cause I'm a
Oh, did you?
developer. Yeah. No, I should say, hold up. Let me say, not to physically go to Apple, not that invite.
No, I got the same one.
Yeah, I talk about the ones that, join us online, so on and so on, right?
Yeah.
That invite's what I got. So we're talking about Dub Dub, okay? See, it's like, a month away at this
Not
point.
even. It's coming close.
Oh, it's
June
not even a month
12th is
away.
like 3
Jeez.
weeks.
No, June 8th. It ends in June 12th. So very, very soon. This is gonna be a course. If you do not know what Dub Dub is, it's WWDC at Apple. Excuse me. That's what they announce typically iOS, macOS, and Siri, and potentially just Vision OS 2. We'll see if they keep going with this. There's big rumors, as we stated, that they're done with Vision Pro. I kind of now think they're going to just back burn it a little bit and focus on other things to come back to it. Because they put so much effort into it. But we're going to see iOS 27, macOS 27, a new version of Siri with Gemini built into it, and Chat GPT will still be there, with a Chat GPT style chatbot and other things too. So that's what we're kind of seeing with what's to be a Dub Dub, and they're gonna really focus on Siri because they need to make this a lot better. They know they do, and Apple Intelligence as well. Do you have hopes, Quasey, that this is gonna be the Dub Dub where Siri's fixed and so is Apple Intelligence?
I don't wanna set my expectations too high, that way I can't be disappointed. Because the year before, I was so excited when they announced it, then last year we got on here and we said we wanna see some updates, and then I was disappointed again, so I'm gonna set the bar very low. Just don't be as bad as ChatGPT is now on the free plan, and you guys will have a good,
Well,
uh, a good day.
just know that the Apple Intelligence guy has been fired. So that might remove some of those issues in that particular section of Apple. I don't know. Maybe it really wasn't him at all. Maybe it was his team that worked under him and he's gone, but they're still there. I don't know. So, what do you think, Quasey, the next macOS is going to be called?
macOS Sacramento. I actually have no clue, they go and they choose a lot of stuff. I know the leaks will come soon enough, so I'm expecting to see it soon, but I have no clue what it could possibly be named.
I'll just give you a couple speculations that people have out there, right? macOS Redwood, macOS Pacific, macOS Mammoth, macOS Skyline, macOS Shasha, uh, macOS Diablo. Don't do that one, Apple.
You
Don't do that.
please do that one, Apple, please.
And macOS Mirama. Probably saying that wrong. Which of those, Quasey, is one of your favorite ones?
I like the Redwood name. Actually, I lied. I like the Pacific name a lot more. If I see macOS Pacific, that's just like I'm not gonna pay to upgrade, right? They
I
don't make you pay, so
I don't disagree with you, but I also like Mammoth.
Mammoth is nice. But do you know how big of an update it'll have to be for them to call it Mammoth? Like you can't just call it Mammoth and it be some small upgrade.
You know what's interesting? How they had to put the word woolly in front of it, like we don't know it's mammoth. You know what I'm saying?
No, because maybe there's two different types of mammoths.
Is there is. My public school education did not tell me that at all.
Are
So
mammoths coming back in 2028? Why are researchers making mammoths come back. I
I
did
mean,
see that.
if an
I
elephant just
just
grew some hair and some longer tusks, we're
okay,
close.
but what if this is the first step to Jurassic World?
Eh, yeah, I've watched so much Jurassic Park World and all that stuff to know that, just because you have 'em on an island does not mean they just stay there, you know?
Especially if they can fly.
Yeah, or if the pterodactyl kind of bird picks up a T-Rex and brings it to New York or something, right?
Like, we cannot be that dumb if we're smart enough to create
Hey,
come on, bro.
I seriously think they're still pterodactyls. You know why? I've walked past my hood of my car or my wife's car. You're like, there's no way one bird did this. There's no way. It's the size of a pizza.
You just can't fathom.
There's no way like a group of them like, guess what, guys, here. And I think some of our snipers should really take advice from some of the birds because some birds are really good at just
Yeah,
pinpointing
they just
targets.
yeah. Make sure it gets right on their screen, ruin your or not your screen, your windshield and ruin your day.
As I said before, under a handle, under. Like, the ones that are like, it's flat and there's like a little cubby hole like this, you had to reach in to open up a handle,
Yeah,
old school. Inside there was
yeah.
was was, bird
The birds actually put,
products.
uh, what's it, a price on a or can I talk today, please? Good lord. The birds actually put a ransom on Adam's head, and that's why that
Well, no.
they were attacking him like this.
See, I was upset when I first seen this, but then I stopped for a second and said, I give it props because this means that the bird had to go upside down in mid-flight,
And somehow projectile it.
up against gravity, and then proceed to go with about his day.
Yeah, that's impressive. Like,
I can't do that as a human being, you know? Like, go up to a tree or something and just hit the first branch. I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but, like,
come to
I
find
gotta
out
say
the
that's
bird just picked it up and
impressive.
threw it. Can you imagine
Yeah.
if, like, the
They
bird just doesn't like you so much that it
they,
poops and then decides to throw it at you?
they're working with the monkeys, you know? I would love to
That'd
have
be
monkeys as a pet,
horrible.
by the way. I think monkeys are awesome,
Dude, monkeys are so cool.
especially, like, gorillas. Now, I know that they can probably, like,
Ooh,
snap me in half,
yeah, I was
but,
about to
like, but
say.
just think of the positives of a gor like, what if he's your bro, you know? Yeah,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, if you
he just
guys are
walks
chill,
by and just gives you an elbow, not like he's gonna hit you elbow,
an
like a
elbow.
elbow tap, like a fist bump, but with elbows or something like that, you know? Like, I don't know, like, I think it'd be very hard if he's in a good mood for you to be in a bad mood, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause girls are so funny. They're funny, they're the closest thing to us. Some girls are really close to actual humans because some people are just ridiculous. But I'm just saying, as a side topic, monkeys are awesome.
Monkeys are awesome.
They just are, and they're funny.
If you get nothing from the podcast today, monkeys are awesome.
I know they can be mean and, whatever, but so can people, you know?
Yeah. People can be rude and nasty and disgusting, man. I just
Yeah. I mean, people can, go to PlayStation, it's just there's examples of bad people out there, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say.
we're not serious, bro.
I I had to
Anyway,
throw it in.
hey, Adam, did you happen to catch Google I/O?
Okay, please do this for me. On this article, you can play this because it's not gonna cause any copyright infringement, I promise you. Go to the article, and there's an embedded Twitter post, sorry, X post. Just play it really quick. Not the whole entire thing, but just you'll understand what this is all about from this video on Twitter.
Morning. Welcome to Google I/O. Major AI product. AI,
Okay, you can stop, you can stop. It's
Hold on,
just that.
we're not even close to the done yet. Oh, it
It
was so
just seems
useful.
like Google is, like, all in for AI.
Yeah, I mean, they, uh, they mentioned it an egregious amount of times, right?
Yeah.
They told
People are
people
outraged.
yeah, but,
Outraged.
you know what the worst part was? They didn't even really come up with anything new. Like, there was a reimagined search box. Ooh, big
They
whoop.
they Google in this keynote showed off Gemini features on an iPhone, not a Pixel.
Well, this is Google's developer conference, and
It doesn't
they
matter.
just don't
You're
only
not gonna
develop
see
for
Apple
themselves.
talk about Dub with a Windows Surface,
What does Apple develop for
you
Windows?
know? Huh?
What does Apple develop for Windows, though?
That doesn't
Nothing.
mean n no,
We're
but
about
you
to see
s
Gemini
do you
integration with the
see
iPhone.
I
It's,
okay,
he's
I
priming you
get
for it.
that. I understand that, but you would think that they would leave that up to Apple to discuss in the keynote and not show not their product in their own keynote. Do you see what I'm
This is true.
saying?
Hold on, sorry, my shoe is,
I'm
like, acting
I'm
weird.
really not upset that they did that. I'm just saying, like, people are talking about this, like, "How dare you, Google, not show your own product line in here?" You know, I don't know. I think they could use their own Pixel phone to show Gemini, and it would've been just fine in a keynote. That I thought was interesting, to say the least. Gemini got some updates. Did you hear about that at all, Quasey?
I did hear about a couple of Gemini updates.
Not so good updates sometimes. I mean, the interface looks nice now. Has some nice,
I
grains and
actually
colors in the
I
background.
actually saw the updates. I think I saw them yesterday for the first time.
Well, so they're introducing, like, what they have for ChatGPT and all these other ones too, where there's, like,
Yeah.
credit models for AI usage and all that stuff. Did you see that?
No. They got rid of the credit models. They already had credit models, and then I received an email yesterday. Hey, we're getting rid of credit models and doing XYZ, but you shouldn't see your as a pro
Really?
user, you shouldn't see your thing change too much. And I was like, oh, cool. Why did I just read this entire thing? Let me read you the email. Mail. Nope,
Oh
that's
my
macOS.
goodness. Completely side topic. Want to hear a really bad story really quick?
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is so off topic. I ordered a computer for one of my clients.
All right.
Okay.
It
Was
broke in
not
transit.
informed. This was a signature required delivery.
Mm,
So if you can believe it, I was actually at work when this was attempted to be delivered.
no.
And the UPS driver came to the door, knocked like this, and left in 2 seconds.
Wow.
Gone. And then I got notification that it was coming back to sender.
Wow.
I was getting fuming at this point. So then I had to pay UPS $8 to redirect it to CVS Pharmacy in my local town for me to pick it up. I could not pre-sign. I could not do a single thing besides return to sender or reschedule delivery somewhere else, which also was going to charge $16 for. I
Mm,
was livid at this. So I paid the $8 to go to CVS, paid in full. And as of this morning, they charged me that $8 again.
wow.
So we're going to have another call with UPS and my supplier, and we're going to make sure that this gets reversed. Sorry, reversed. They're going to pay me back for this because there was no reason this happened anyway. If I did not go to UPS tracking myself and looked at a signature required, I would have no idea. Because the note left just said, Adam, UPS package,
Mm,
which said nothing about signature required, by the way.
yeah, it just doesn't. You wouldn't know from those words.
Whoever thought of signature required is wrong. And here's why. It's like a doctor's office. You come to us during your work hours to come see us. Take off work for this very thing. Signature required, you can only do this during the hours of where you work. And that is it. And if you're not there at some random time, because we will give you a window like Comcast does, we'll be there from 8 until 7 p.m. So
Mm.
you have to take the whole day off to receive a package. What about me picking up at the local UPS facility? Not an
Nope,
option. Can't
not an
do that.
option.
Nope. Why would you think we can do something like that? Why would
Conveniency?
why would we wanna do that for you when we can just bring it to you? How about me come to you and pick it up? You do nothing besides just bring it to this one facility. I like UPS as a whole, but that really pissed me off.
No,
you
I get
know?
that.
But my
Completely
supplier should have
understandable.
also informed me in the shipping that it was gonna be sanitary required so I could prepare for such things.
Indeed.
Sorry, I had this big argument yesterday with people, and they said it's my fault, and that
It's
made me
just
more
not.
pissed.
It's just
It's
not
not
your
my
fault.
fault because I
It's
didn't
just not.
know. Should I have to track the tracking of this package to figure out if it's sanitary
I
required?
always track my packages.
I do too, but do you always look for sanitary required? I
No,
don't. You know what I'm saying?
I just track it to make sure it gets there.
What I did was I went to the tracking and I said, okay, it's gonna be here on Tuesday. That's all I did. I didn't look at like the absolute details of the tracking to see where it's gonna be at tomorrow at 7 p.m. I didn't look that far, right?
Ah,
So now they charge me again. They are asking for a heated discussion where my phone will get really hot from me being so pissed off. You know what I'm saying? That kind of discussion. So that's gonna be a call today I have. And I just saw that. So it's not a good call that I want to make, but I have to because there's egregious things happening here, and it shouldn't be the case.
indeed there are.
All I have to say, Google had their I/O, and
Hey,
let
it's time
us know
for me to
what you
check in
guys
on my
think.
flight.
And let us know what you think in the comments below about that.
Yeah. Moving on, just a quick one. If you guys have Plex,
Whoa, you kind of pass things.
did
You
I?
pass, yeah,
What did I pass?
the Google smart glasses,
Star glasses.
smart glasses
Oh,
from
these just
Google.
weren't on my thing at all. You just
Really?
put this in here, I promise.
Nope.
Nope, I
I pull up
promise.
the
I
same note that
promise.
you did. You just no, you
Nope,
just
could
didn't.
not be me. I never make mistakes. Just could not be me. Nope. Like I was saying, Google's intelligent eyewear product is set to launch this fall. All right. You might say, Quasi, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the new Google AI glasses. I don't know how else to explain it, right? They're
Can
partnering with
you
Samsung and they're partnering with Warby Parker
can you do
to
one
make
thing
some
for me?
pretty ugly glasses.
Just go ahead and just pull up
What would you
these
like to see?
the picture of these glasses.
The first one or the second one? You know what? They
The
can see
very first
both.
one. Yeah. Doesn't the first one
Disgusting.
resemble on the glasses part goggles for swimming?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
It
It's like,
looks a bit weird.
where would you wear that in real life?
People will, and just because of the name, Gentle Monster, that's a weird name, but by every way. But there's that, and then the second one is Warby Parker, right?
I know Warby Parker. I've
Now
heard
that
of
one
them.
looks like like almost like the Meta
Regular
Ray Bans,
glasses?
almost. Yeah, uh, it just seems like to me that the Warby Parker ones will probably sell a little bit more, but we don't know yet. So I guess my question to you, Quasi, is knowing the competition out there, which is really the Meta Ray Bans and the ones from Oakley and
They're all from Meta, bro.
well, that's the software side. They're all from Luxottica. That's what they're all from. Even I think these. So my question is, does this sway a possible choice for you if you were in the market for smart glasses?
Oh,
Would
yeah,
you potentially get the ones from Google instead
definitely.
of the ones from
Because they're gonna
Meta?
be running Gemini, right? And Gemini already knows everything about me. Might as well give him more information, right? The the reason I say that, I don't wanna live in, like, a world where our AI overlords are taking over for us, but Gemini is genuinely the most helpful thing that I've
Hey,
used.
love Gemini.
Unrelated though, I told Gemini one time that I'm trying to start a YouTube channel, right? It didn't materialize because I don't have time, right? But now Gemini brings it up in every single conversation. It's sickening. Like, I
It's
know I didn't complete my goal. You don't have to tell me about it
yeah.
every day.
It's trying to encourage Quasi. That's what it is.
Every day, Adam, without fail.
The one thing that I would be cautious about these is Google has a tendency, and they've been accused of stealing information, right? And
Yeah,
if a microphone and or a camera is really close to like what you do on a daily basis, will they utilize such hardware to do more spying, if you would? Or will they just be, be a cool bunch of people and not do that? So that's the question I have for you.
I have no clue. I can't tell you.
I mean, I'm sure Meta is doing the same thing, right? Um, I will say, you know, I don't use the Meta AI as much on my glasses, not that I don't like it, just, you know, I'm usually taking pictures with my Meta Ray-Bans or video, and I'll ask us certain things, but it's not, like, full-fledged like you think it would be, right? It requires your
Yeah,
phone to be nearby and all this other stuff doesn't always connect right, but, it works. So, I'm guessing, as a new industry addition, I'm curious with the comments, what you guys think of this? Do you like both of these? You like one only? Does this, sway your choice of getting Meta Ray-Bans and get these instead? Like, what's your overall thoughts with this? Let us know in the comments below, you know?
definitely.
Any closing remarks for these, Quasi, besides, um, the cost not even being shown at all here, so
No,
not even the slightest.
not in the slightest.
Oh, is it because it's not even announced yet from Google, or is it?
They definitely announced it.
Okay, yeah, so they announced. Okay, well, we will see what this, comes to be,
Yeah,
and, yeah, let us know below.
probably around that same $500 price is what I would think.
My guess, yeah, probably.
All right, this is a quick one. If you have Plex and you haven't bought the lifetime pass yet, I would encourage you to buy it sooner than later because, like, if you thought you were gonna buy it, I would encourage you to buy it sooner than later. Right now, it's
It's
$250.
that's a
They will be tripling the price to 750. Go ahead and jump on that before they do it in June, or sorry, in July.
that's so
So
egregious.
on July 1st, they're gonna do it, which honestly, I've never seen a company give you this much of a heads up. So props to them. Just
Yeah, but
props to them.
don't give them props like that. They're
Now,
just trying to get you to
not
buy the Plex
props
Pass currently.
for tripling the price.
Nah, that
That's kinda egregious.
so I use Plex, and I think Quasi has a couple times too, but, I already had the lifetime pass, this doesn't affect me, but I just, it's nice. It's a nice platform for what it does. They're doing some things that are just people don't like, and this is one of them for sure. And it's clear they like money, you know?
Yeah. But who
So
doesn't? Money.
yeah, but like now
I
mind
like
you,
money.
their monthly price for Watch Pass and the for Plex Pass that they have now, it's not going up. This is just for lifetime only. But it's because they constantly do updates with the platform and add new features and everything else, right? But at the same time, people are outraged about this because there's alternatives, right? You have Jellyfin, you have MB, and you have some up and coming ones that we won't discuss yet because they're up and coming. But like when you can do this for other platforms cheaper and or free, people might sway to do that instead of using Plex because it's not the end all be all, right?
This
It's
is
the
true.
overall probably, in my opinion, one of the best polished media servers out there. But it's just kind of preference. So I I already can see in the comments from various different platforms that people are gonna switch because this is egregious and, like, if you have your own Plex server, you really have to have Plex Pass for it to be usable if you're at your house. So, just know that they're making some kind of bad choices where unless you have that, you really can't utilize it at all, which is kinda not good. So,
No, no,
like, you here's what sucks, you can't even download, right, from your own server that you had the files on your phone unless you have Plex Pass.
okay, Adam, I'll be right back in, like, 4 minutes. I have to go. I just muted myself. My stomach is telling me that I have a very limited time to make it to the bathroom. Can you just tell them
Okay.
about Trump Mobile really quick? And then I'll be back for App of the
Yeah, I
Week. Yeah, I'll
can.
be right back, trust.
Okay, okay, okay. So, yeah, that's happening in July, just so you guys know, for Plex Pass. I'm not saying you should have to purchase this. I'm just saying just know it's coming if you made the choice that you want to get it for 250 while you still can, okay? Now, we'll go on to Trump Mobile. This is not brought to be political in this podcast. I want to make people aware of what people are experiencing with Trump Mobile and the newly released Trump phone. So, to be clear, Donald Trump is not releasing this as his son, first off, but Trump Mobile is a carrier that you can get your own phone carrier or phone with, and then cell phone plan. And then with the Trump phone or other phones, you can go on this. But people are saying that Trump Mobile is leaking their private information that's on the platform. That's not a good look, right? That's like for anybody. So, what's not good about this is it's giving people way more information that should be, and it's backed by T-Mobile, by the way, and I don't know why this is just such an issue to begin with at all. So, this is something that be very aware of, be very careful in using this because your information is gonna get leaked if it's not ready, right? And this is discovered by CoffeeZilla and Penguin Zero. Um, yeah. They ordered the Trump Mobile Gold colored T1 phone and said that they've been alerted by a researcher who found their exposed data online. Not good. Not good at all. Am I saying it's happened to everybody? Maybe not. Maybe it has. But just be aware that you should be very careful about this and just don't do it. So that's just happy with Trump Mobile. Let us know in the comments what you think. If you have this cell phone plan, do you like it? Did you get the Trump phone? Do you like the phone? Do you not like it? And just let us know in the comments below. So, okay, we're gonna go with my app and product of the week really quick while Quasi is using the facilities. So, my product of the week is a bit different than it usually is. And it's the Meta Ray Bans, 2nd generation. So, they're on sale right now on Amazon for $347. And if you don't know what the Meta Ray Bans look like, instead of me just showing you on the, product page on Amazon, let me just pull mine out really quick. This is, of course, the Wayfair edition from Meta. Look just like this. Okay. I got just a standard pair of these, right, with, there's a phrase for this. Um, my gosh, I'm just blanking on it. Polarized is the word I'm trying to find out. So right here, I'll just kinda do that. It looks really cool right now. Anyway, these are the from Meta, and, they're on sale for $347. Mind you, I paid just about $500 for these when I got these, so actually, I did not. My wife did for as a gift. Thank you so much, by the way. And, that's my product of the week. So, with the new things coming out from Google and stuff, this is a sale that is only happening for a short time. So, if you're considering getting these, maybe pick these up because it's a great discount right now. It's a limited time deal on Amazon. Okay, we must go on to the very next thing, and that is my app of the week. And that is Aftership Package Tracker. As I mentioned with UPS, um, one thing you could do with this is track multiple packages from 700 carriers worldwide, so international too as well. You can see real-time information of those packages right in the app. And this is all free. It doesn't cost you for this app. It's free to use on Mac OS and iPhone and Android and everything else. And it's just a nice way for you to track stuff in a better way than you usually get. Because, it's not universal to give you more updates for things. It's just nice to see this information, and you get more real-time information as well for your package and where it is in the world right now. So that's very nice. So my app of the week is Aftership. So at this point, I think we're gonna wait for Quasi to get back, and you know, just do that. Um, in other news, just to be a little side topic really quick. I'm watching some TV shows right now that just recently came out, Dutton Ranch and Marshalls. Really good TV shows. If you're not watched those, you should check those out. We're just gonna wait for Quasi here. And this part will be cut out. This thing just kind of for sure just like dipped on me. Let's share. think I hear Quasi.
Sorry, everybody. I trust that Adam has told you guys
I
all about
have.
Trump Mobile.
I did, and I did
And
my product and app of the week as well.
oh, really?
So
So sorry.
we'll
So,
cut out the part you were gone, so it's okay.
uh, for my product of the week, I definitely did this thing right here. Let me pull it up, get back into the
Let's
swing of
see.
things. Yes, yes, yes. That's an app. I just opened the American Airlines app, which is my app of the week, right? If you don't know, Quasi is always in the air, right? It's not by choice. Quasi is not the biggest fan of heights. I'm not a big fan. I'm a really big fan of flying, though. Um, all that to
Interesting.
say, yeah, the two contradict, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works, but I guess because I can't see the ground when I'm in the airplane, I'm more chill about it. But yeah, I have a flight coming up literally tomorrow. Like, I actually just got the notification that I need to check in. But I love the American Airlines app because what it does for me is every time I open this app when I'm traveling, it shows me the exact and I know this is probably standard place for you guys' planes apps, but I really like how it shows me exactly where I'm gonna be in every airport. And, the United app did this too, Delta app does this too, but the American Airlines app just does it better, so that's why they're my app of the week, and also because I booked my plane ticket with them, and they just so happen to be an important thing in my life right now. Second, my product of the week is gonna be these speakers that I just purchased for my, self. I got these on May 12th, as you can see from this thing that I didn't know was gonna pop up. But these are the Lenru computer speakers. Let me tell you something, Adam. When purchasing these speakers, I was thinking they were gonna be a little bit bigger than they actually are. They're kind of really
Okay.
small. It's okay, right? I definitely thought they were gonna be, like, really cheap and really tinny sounding, but they were gonna be speakers.
Huh? Yep.
I was wrong. These are the best speakers I have ever purchased under $25. And now they've got a deal where you could save $5 from the price I bought them at. Hey, listen,
Always deal after you buy 'em, isn't there?
yeah,
Always.
it's just
Always.
annoying. But these are loud, they've got nice sound quality, you can plug your headphones into them, they got LED lights that I haven't figured out how to control yet, I can only turn them on, I can't really choose the color. I don't know if you can
Question.
choose the color. Yeah, go
Have
ahead.
you tried to use these with your phone yet?
No, they're not Bluetooth.
No. Look at there's an adapter for USB-C.
Yeah, but that's, like, to plug it in to the the power source.
Does it not work for your phone?
My phone isn't gonna power these speakers.
Why won't it?
It just won't. I think it needs 10 watts.
Like, your phone can be
Output 5 watts. My phone only outputs
I
5 watts.
You sure?
I'm 1000% sure. Let's actually look it up.
Does iPhones can charge other devices when you plug it in, right?
Yeah, hold on. 4.5 watts of power. Yeah, unfortunately, I did research on that because I thought I was gonna charge somebody else's phone in 10 minutes. I was wrong.
Oh, if it was at 92% maybe.
Yeah, not even. But,
Yeah. Do you
yeah,
have any
so
comments, Quasi, just quickly on the Trump phone and or the, Trump mobile that's been released?
to be
I
quite
I gave
honest with
my
you
2 cents.
To be quite honest with you, I thought it had 0 chance of coming out. So first and foremost, good on them, right?
Eh,
Now, is it
eh.
good? It is the worst phone I have ever seen in my entire life.
What's worse, this or the Fire phone?
This is worse than the Fire Phone because at least the Fire Phone came out in 2014, alright? This is,
Okay. 2014, really?
yeah,
Really?
but
Did
you
it
gotta
really?
I I'm pretty sure.
I'm
Fire
not I don't remember there being, like
yeah, it was released in July 2014.
man, it's that long ago,
Anyway,
huh? It is. Wow.
did you know that did you already tell them about the, data leak
Yeah.
in week 1 of the
From
Trump phone?
from ordering the
Yeah.
phone. Yeah,
N
yeah,
not
yeah.
even from ordering, from pre-ordering the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and, only 30,000 people actually ordered the phone, though, so that's
More than I
There's only
thought would.
30,000 people who are dumb enough with their money
It looks
to
like an iPhone kind of, but it's Android.
no, it used to look like an iPhone. The ones that the reviewers are getting now look like Androids, which I guess is cool for them. Anyway, don't buy this phone. Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. There's a much better use for you guys' money.
Yeah.
Let's be smart.
Yeah, you can get the
Go pay
Plex
off that
Pass
credit card that you have $800 on instead of buying this phone.
or Plex Pass
Yeah,
in
go
July.
go make a down payment on a car, right? Do something. Invest that money. Put it into the S&P
There we
500,
go.
right?
That's good. Yeah.
Any of those options. Matter of fact, burn it. Even that option is better than buying the Trump phone, right? Let's be honest with ourselves here. Like the Trump phone,
So you're
okay, stop.
really trying to say that we are gonna destroy all chances of getting sponsored by a Trump phone, so
No. Oh, what am I doing? No, but
it doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, this phone is it
it was a
yeah,
cash grab and it
yeah,
got some people.
it
If
did,
30,000
and,
people paid $100, then that's $300,000. No, I lied. That's $3 million.
still a lot of money.
A buttload of money. So good for them.
Was it Maine, United States, I wonder?
Yeah, that's what they're claiming. Do we actually think it was made in the United States?
No, I don't either. Might be
But it's
assembled.
okay. Hey, yeah, maybe. But yeah, this is a very serious moment for me, guys. We are recording on a Thursday today. If I get this video out by tomorrow, then you have to like and subscribe. Right? If this video is out anytime before 6 a.m. on Friday, May 22nd, then you have to like this podcast episode, follow us on the socials, join the Discord. I know it's a lot of things, but you guys don't understand how much time it's going to take
We
me. I have work
had
today, and I'm going to get it done for you guys. I promise.
we've had some new joiners on the Discord servers. That is getting out finally.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I miss this? I've been on
Some
Discord
uh, some of them are
every
kind of
other day.
scammy, but we took care of those people.
Oh, really?
Don't worry. Yeah, it's like, oh,
Understandable.
look at my Bitcoin investments.
Nice. I wanted to look at the Bitcoin investments.
Yeah, but it was like clearly going to a bitcoinlegit.org, where you can not get scammed.
Bitcoinlegit.org.
It was one of those. That's like,
Yes. Yes, that's my favorite website, actually. That's where I do all my
it's my
Bitcoin.
homepage.
Yeah. Okay, guys. We hope you guys have a absolutely spectacular weekend, right? I feel like that's how we should start ending these because it's going into the weekend.
Yeah,
But if you're
yeah.
listening to it on Monday, have a great week, right? We
And
love you
Memorial Day
guys.
as well.
Yeah, Memorial Day as well. That's
It's
coming
kind
up.
of, yeah, which is actually, gonna be like, so that means you should have definitely a time to listen to this podcast, right? Well, I mean, spend time with your families and
Yeah,
all that stuff too. And,
something like that.
support the troops and all that stuff too.
Yeah, something like that.
Those are on the field, making sure that we're safe here back in the States. So, you know, for sure that. And have a fantastic week as well and weekend. And we hope to see you next week as well.
Indeed.
I know we've had some adjustments this week to make things happen, so that is what it is. But Quincy's back, and he's
Lacey is
here.
back.
He's here to do stuff. So
Not that
we
you
know
guys would know that I left.
I'm very flexible. He's back not in the sense of not being here, more say like
They
he
wouldn't
had a
know.
busy week. He really did. I mean, it is what it is, but we're all flexible here, made things work, and that's good. It happens. So, yeah,
All right, guys. Very important that you like and subscribe and have a
very
great
important.
week.
You as well, Quasey, for
All right,
sure.
thank you, thank you.
Okay,
All right,
see you guys
bye,
next
guys.
week, which is gonna be one week closer to Dub Dub. We cannot wait to talk more about that coming
This
soon.
is true.
All right, see you guys.
Adios.